So now with Somalia, what was your role in Somalia?
Well, we first went there, as a peacekeeping, we were going there as peacekeeping, so
Right.
our vehicles were all painted white, right,
Yeah.
with the big UN sign on it, and, blah, blah, blah. And then, probably a week or two before we left for Somalia, the Americans went in with the Navy SEALs, went ashore into Mogadishu, and then they made it peacemaking.
Yeah.
So then, so now we got like white vehicles, right?
Awesome.
And we're like, so then we'd take the wash basins and fill them half full of dirt, and then dump water in, create mud and a paste, and
You're
and
dirtying
cover
up the vehicles.
our white vehicle in mud.
Awesome.
And then the sun would bake it on, and it would be good for like 2 weeks.
Really? Okay.
So they were like our our camouflage carriers.
Improvised camo all of a sudden. Yeah.
Right.
So how was life like in Somalia? And I know the airborne got into significant trouble because of issues in Somalia.
Yeah.
You were on, I think, the roto after, you were saying?
No, it was all just one rotor.
Oh, it was all one roto?
Right.
Okay.
So, say leading up to going there, say 2 Commando deployed first. So Hercs, like a Grizzly loaded up onto the Herc.
Right.
And flew over. So the air crew would go sit in the back of the Grizzly and smoke. That's what the crews would do, right?
Right.
On their way over. But anyways, they flew over, and then 2 Commando was with the Americans then, and then they ended up going in to take over the runway in Beledweyne. So the plane taxied in, the ramp came down, going slow, and then troops ran to the outsides to secure the perimeter, and then that was the start of it all. And then, we flew into Mogadishu. All our vehicles came on ship, and we got our vehicles, got sorted out, and then did like a big, long
road move,
doing like 20 kilometers an hour.
Oh, goodness.
The whole way, like sitting on top of the deck of the Grizzly, kind of with my feet on the seat, and just adjusting there was like a throttle thing, almost like cruise control in a way, right? And then just to like 20 kilometers an hour.
Oh, goodness.
Adjusting the steering here and there, but
nothing like going as slow as possible in a hostile territory, right?
But it was all like nothing but potholes, right?
Yeah.
The road was it was a highway at one point, but
Just,
it was not a highway.
No, not to our standards.
Yeah.
So I know with the airborne having issues with Kyle Brown, and we've all heard of the stories, what happened there, kind of thing. How did that affect the rest of your tour for that?
I think for many people it was like because then all eyes were on us, right? And they were trying to to say, why'd you do it this way or do it that way, like all eyes. The whole Somali inquiry, right, looking into the behavior of each of the soldiers, right?
Right.
When in reality, it should have been looking into the side effects of the drug that they were now causing, and that it shouldn't have been into the what the person was doing, but why was the government forcing that soldier to take to take the drug when he was having side effects.
Right, and now Malefiquin, that's the anti-malarial pills.
Yeah.
I was on it when I was in Africa for a deployment as well. And,
Okay.
And I've seen some of the effects of this stuff, and it was horrific. Even for myself, I've seen the effects. But how did the Malefiquin affect you specifically?
For me in Somalia, I didn't think I had a problem, right?
Okay.
I never had the nightmares, right? Nightmares were kind of your biggest thing, I think.
Okay.
So I'm like, I got
good,
no nightmares. I'm good to go, right? I've got diarrhea, but I think that's from the rations.
Welcome to the theater.
I think I can't sleep because it's 55 degrees Celsius in our tent. How are you supposed to sleep, right? And all these things that you attribute to something else, when in reality, it was all the drug, right? There was people all over the place, right? People were actively hallucinating on the drug and were kept on it.
Goodness.
Right? Even to say, Clayton Matchey was choking his wife in his sleep before he even left for Somalia, right? Because you start taking the drug before you go.
Yeah,
right?
I remember that. You take it 30 days before and then 30 days after. And
I think he had come home on a leave too, was like sitting in bed, like whatever, and his wife woke up and asked him what's wrong, and he's like, pray, Marge, pray. The demons are coming for me. They got all these teeth and describing all of them and saying they're coming for him. And that's, so because he was already having prodromal symptoms or side effects, he should have been immediately stopped, even by recommendations of the drug itself, by the drug manufacturer. But the Canadian military said, no, keep taking it.
And send them
right?
off.
And then, so they involuntarily intoxicated him over and over. And that involuntary intoxication and taking it after you're having prodromal symptoms is causing worse side effects, is causing, you're doing that much more damage because you've just shown that that you're actually doing damage, and now you're continuing to take it, right?
Yeah, and it's just making it worse. Jeez.
Yeah. And all troops leading up until 2003, all troops were forced to take mefloquine.
Goodness.
Because there was no other drug available at the time, they said.
Right.
But doxycycline, which was a drug that was added in 2004 to our inventory, if you would, was available the whole time that mefloquine was coming out.
Goodness.
So they had us do a drug trial on mefloquine, on a harsh drug, say, when they had doxycycline that was a safe alternative the whole time.
Right.
So the only way for us to go to Somalia was to take mefloquine.
Yeah.
And then the only way for us to get the mefloquine was to do a drug trial, of which they never did.
My goodness.
So